Hey there. In this episode, I'm going to talk about why be an entrepreneur. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur or a business owner? In order to do that, I'm going to share a little bit about my story and why I am an entrepreneur. Why do I show up in my pajamas? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case you haven't met yet, go and put hashtag pajama in the comments below so I know it's the first time you're being exposed to the Pajama Grandma. So why am I here talking to you in my pajamas? It's a long story, but I'm going to try to give you the short and condensed version. I started off like so many people, going to college, studying, changing my major a dozen times, and I finally graduated with a degree in engineering. I'm an engineer by trade, which means I'm pretty serious and pretty boring and pretty structured. And I started my career making toilet paper, and I went on from there to work for several of the biggest corporations on the planet and some of the smaller businesses and family-owned or privately held corporations as well. Over it was more than 25 years, over a quarter century I spent in corporate America and various capacities as a quality manager predominantly. I went into the area of quality, love quality, because it allows me to be involved in all aspects of the business, to understand the processes and the systems that are in every area of the business, because I knew I always wanted to have my own business. I started my first business when I was 13 selling ice. And from then on, I've been in like 27 different businesses in several different industries because my dad taught us at a very young age to be hard workers and to be ambitious. And so I've always worked really, really hard. I've always made my family work really, really hard as well. But my backstory is I was working in corporate America. I had two little kids and I needed to find a way to provide for my kids, which is part of why I worked in corporate America. But I also knew growing up that I wanted to have my own business or businesses on the side. So I was always working on and growing different businesses on the side, as well as working in corporate America and raising my kids. So to say I was super busy and running around like a chicken with my head cut off is an understatement. But I knew that from a personal development standpoint, I always love learning and I always want to learn and grow and be finding better, faster, easier, more efficient, more effective ways of doing absolutely everything in any organization, which is part of why I was always drawn to the quality function. So working in corporate America, and like anybody else's corporate career over a couple of decades, you get laid off, things happen, businesses sell, you get downsized, you get outsized. The first time it happens, you feel really bad and you take it personally. The second and third time it happens, you understand that it's just the nature of the business world and the beast. And it's really not personal. It's not about your skills or abilities. It's about what's going on with the business and what the business needs to survive and be successful. So after my last job in corporate America, and I call it my last job because it's the last job I had in corporate America, which I absolutely loved. I loved everything about that job. I worked too hard and too much and too long of hours and didn't ever really see my family as much as I would have liked because I was working so much. But I loved that job. It was fun and it was wonderful, but they sold to a bigger company. I think they've been sold 3 times since then. And so I was let go as part of that. Fired. I wasn't really fired though, because I was just downsized, and I didn't take it personally because I knew it wasn't about me. It was about what they were going to do to combine the companies and combine the businesses. So I decided at that point I could either go out and find another job in corporate America, but I was 40 at the time. And so I was like, I think I was 43 at the time. Did I really want to go 43, 44, somewhere in there? Did I really want to go compete with all the college kids and try to find another job? And the answer was no. Well, I've been running a business on the side with a partner for several decades, so I decided I would go into that business. But I knew that I needed to do something on my own. I'd been in corporate America long enough. I'd been in quality and I'd learned about all the different functions in a business, and I knew I was ready and able to really strike out on my own and make it a successful endeavor. I didn't have to continue to work for someone else. And I wanted that freedom. I wanted to be able to attend my kids' sports. I think my kids were 9 and 12 then, and I'd missed out on a lot of their childhood working in corporate America, traveling for my jobs, and busy and working all the time. So I was ready to be a part of their lives. And that was one of the reasons that I wanted to go the entrepreneurial business ownership route versus continuing to work for someone else. I wanted the freedom to have my own schedule, to be able to make and plan my own time and determine what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, where I wanted to do it, with whom I wanted to do it, wearing whatever I wanted to. So my plan was to grow that business, and we got involved in other businesses as well. And some of them worked, some of them didn't. And that's the nature of the beast. I found that, like with my health, not everybody out on the planet wants to see you be successful. They're not all out there rooting you on. Even if they love you, they come from their own perspective. They come from their own beliefs about what they can do, and they project that onto you. And if they don't see themselves being successful doing what you're trying to do, then they're worried for you. And so the normal trials and tribulations of running businesses and being out on your own, of course, I've experienced all of those, the whole gamut. In addition to that, I had a serious health challenge, which impacted my ability to do anything for several years. Actually, for a full year, and then for several years, I've definitely changed and been impacted by those health challenges. But I've continued to move on and grow. And my current situation, what I'm doing now to grow, is I am building an online business, and I am creating a women's summit. And is it challenging? Absolutely. Is it something I've ever done before? No. Will I figure it out? Yes, I will. Will it be a success? Yes, it will. Will I make mistakes along the way? Undoubtedly, already have. Will I do everything right the first time? No, but that's the nature and the excitement about having your own business and doing your own thing and being an entrepreneur. You get to figure it out. You're responsible for everything, but you also get to figure it out. And there's so much gratification in figuring things out and moving forward and making the world a better place that it's all worth it. So that's my little story about why I'm an entrepreneur. And mainly I'm an entrepreneur so that I can do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want, wearing whatever I want. And that's part of my health things are because I like to be comfortable. So that's it. Go out, make it a fantastic day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Jam Grandma out.